Hello everyone, welcome to our video lecture. So in our last lecture we have studied about types of solvents as well as electrophiles and electrophilicity. Okay, so dear students, now let's come to another attacking reagents, that is nucleophiles. Let's study about nucleophiles, nucleophilicity and basicity, basic strength. Nucleophiles. So first of all, this term is from nucleo, that is your nucleus, plus philes means loving. So nucleophiles are nucleus loving. Now as we all know, nucleus, if inside any atom, as we all know, there is proton and neutron. Now neutron is neutral in nature, it has nothing to do with any of the charges, but proton, positively charged species, will be attracted by negatively charged species. Okay, so nucleus loving, nucleus is having positively charged, and this nucleophiles are loving positively charged, means they will be definitely electron rich species. Okay, so nucleus, that is proton loving, you can say. Okay, so we can say nucleophiles are electron rich species, right? Will be acting as electron donating groups, EDG. Okay, next point we can say nucleophiles are actually electron pair donors. Okay, they act as Lewis base. Clear? So these are the properties of nucleophiles. They are electron rich species, Lewis bases, electron pair donors. Okay, clear? Now let us understand what is the use of these nucleophiles and nucleophilicity. When we say the term nucleophilicity, it is about the attacking rate with which the nucleophiles will behave towards any electrophile. Okay, so these nucleophiles will react with electrophiles, definitely electron deficient species, because opposite charges only attract each other, right? So let us understand types of nucleophiles. Types of nucleophiles. Okay, so the first type is negatively charged species. So the negatively charged species will behave as nucleophiles. Okay, let us see some examples. OH minus, this is our hydroxide ion. OR minus, if you say alcohol, so it is ROH, but this is RO minus, so it is alkoxide ion. If I say N3 minus, azide ion. RCOO minus, carboxylate ion. Okay, if I say RSO3 minus, this is our sulfonate ion. Clear? Now if I say H minus, hydride ion. Among all these cases, if I say the most reactive will be H minus hydride ion, because it is highly unstable. Then if I say X minus, halides. Okay, X is your halogen, X minus halides. Clear? So all these are the cases of negatively charged species. Now I can also say R minus. Okay, so this will be your carbon ion only. Carbon ions. So all carbon ions will be negatively charged species. So all these cases you can see here are negatively charged species and they will behave as a nucleophile. Okay, they are very strong nucleophiles actually. Second type, type 2. Neutral nucleophiles. Okay. Now what are neutral nucleophiles? They are having lone pairs. Having lone pair of electron donated to any electrophile. They have lone pair of electron which can be donated to any of the electrophiles. Okay, for example, if I say about these types, then it may be NH3, as we know it is ammonia. Now ammonia derivatives, it may be RNH2, it may be RNHR, or it may be NR3, all these cases. Okay, now if I say water, it is having lone pair, then it's alkyl part ROH, it may be ether ROR. Okay, I can say cyclic ethers as well. This is your oxyrene. So all these are lone pair carrying groups. Now if I say H2S, then it's again RSH, then RSR, then thioether, cyclic part as well. These all cases. Okay, now if I say lone pair carrying groups, then all possibilities I have mentioned here, most of the cases, right? Clear? So these are all lone pair having groups. If I say pyridine, one of the good example of lone pair carrying nucleophiles. Clear to all? Okay. Type 3. So this is the third type of nucleophiles. Pi electron donors. So dear students, this is one of the most important case. You have to understand what are pi electron donors. Pi electron donors means they have electron pairs which will be donated due to pi bond. Means due to pi bond, that pi bonded electron will be donated to any of the electrophile or electrophilic center. Okay. For example, alkene, better to say ethene, this one. Okay, this is your ethene, right? So alkenes having one pi bond, so 2 pi electrons. That pi bond is having 2 electrons, so they are called pi bonded electrons. So 2 pi electrons, and that is available to be donated to any electrophile. Okay, so we can say alkenes acts as pi electron donors, or better to say nucleophiles. Okay, now sometimes the question arises in mind, it is very stable, neutral, why it is reactive? So this is definitely under the presence of any reagent only, right? Neutral species will be stable only, so they will behave as a reacting species when under the influence of any reagent or due to presence of any another compound. Okay, so we can say here under the influence of any reagent. Now you will think, sir, it is itself a reagent only. So I am telling under the influence of any reagent or any compound. Okay. Now the question arises, what about alkynes? I just mentioned here alkenes. C triple bonded C. Alkynes have high electronegative carbon atom having 3.25 electronegativity value hold its electron tightly. So you have to understand, triple bonded carbon atom means alkynes generally never behaves as a nucleophile. Why? Because it is one of the most electronegative element. Triple bonded carbon is having electronegativity 3.25, even higher than nitrogen. So this pi bonded electron is attracted towards each other. Okay, it holds its electrons and do not donates. Now the question arises whether they are reactive or not. So yes, remember, alkynes show many of the reactions very similar to alkenes, but they never behaves as a nucleophile. Okay, so you can note it down. Alkynes show many reaction similar to alkene but won't behave as a nucleophile. Okay, but won't behave as a nucleophile. Clear to you? So remember, we have discussed about three types of nucleophiles. Okay, first type was negatively charged nucleophile, which is most nucleophilic. Then second comes your neutral but having lone pair, and third case is pi electron donors. Okay, due to pi electrons. So if I have to say about nucleophilicity. Now dear students, understand, if I have to check the nucleophilicity order, means which one is more nucleophilic than the other. So among these three types, if I have to compare first of all, then order of nucleophilicity is represented as Nu minus or simply Nu sometimes. Okay, for nucleophile or nucleophilicity, this is the representation. So order of nucleophilicity will be type 1 greater than 2 greater than 3. Why? It is negatively charged. This is lone pair and this is pi electron, means these are the bonded electrons which will break the bond and donate to someone else. Okay, and this is your lone pair, unshared electron available which can be donated, and this is negatively charged, means it is already having some charge. So we can understand, if it donates to someone, it can become stable or it can become neutral. Okay, so this is the order of nucleophilicity among all these three types. I hope you have understand and you have noted each and every point. Nucleophilicity versus basicity. So dear students, now understand the difference between two terms as well as the relation between two terms. So first of all, let's discuss about nucleophilicity. Nucleophilicity, it's about electron pair donation to any electrophile, not to H plus. Remember this thing. Okay, and this is the difference between nucleophilicity versus basicity. When you say about basicity, it is about electron pair donation to proton or H plus. See, I can say that Nucleophiles are those which will donate its electron pair to any of the electrophile, but not to H plus. When it is about H plus, we say it basics. It's about basicity. Okay, clear? Because H plus is also an electrophile. So when some species will give its electron pair to H plus, so it will be basic in nature. But if it donates to someone else rather than H plus, then it will be nucleophilic in nature. Clear? Okay. When we talk about organic chemistry, it is all about nucleophile interact with any carbocation or carbon having partial positive charge. In organic chemistry, simply if I have to say, then nucleophile or nucleophilicity is all about attacking to any carbon atom which is positively charged, partially or completely. Means carbocation, means if I have to say simply R plus or RCOR. Now in this RCOR ketone, this carbon is having delta positive charge, and here this R group carbon is having complete positive charge. So in both the cases they are electrophiles. So the interaction of nucleophile with such electrophiles is about nucleophilicity. Clear? Now what is the reason we need to understand about nucleophilicity versus basicity? Because the same compound or the same species can behave as a nucleophile or as a base. Okay, let me give you one example. Suppose OH minus reacts with HBr. As you know, HBr is a acid, hydrobromic acid. Okay, simply if gas, hydrogen bromide, as you know. So OH minus on reacting with this acid, it forms water plus Br minus. Clear? Now this is the attacking reagent, this is the reactant, this is formed as product, this is act as a leaving group. So here it is acid, del positive, del negative. Okay, and OH minus is your here base, acid base reaction, simply it is. Now if I say OH minus CH3Br, I kept the leaving group same. What will happen here? Here this OH minus will attack this carbon and this Br minus will be removed. So it will form OH CH3 plus Br minus. See, this is again leaving group. This is your desired product. This is your substrate. But here it is not base, it is your nucleophile. See, from this example you can understand OH minus can act as a base or as a nucleophile. So it depends upon what? It depends upon the electrophile with which it interacts. If it is H plus, it will be base. If it is an electrophile other than H plus, it will be nucleophile. Clear to you all? Now, one more point we need to understand, that which nucleophile is more stronger and which nucleophile is weaker. Why? Because in that way only we can understand that the effect of nucleophilicity on different reactions. Means in particular reactions, generally if I say about substitution reactions, then which nucleophile will react via which pathway, with single step mechanism or double step or multi-step. So nucleophilicity plays an important role here. Okay, so dear students, let us understand the order of nucleophilicity in different cases. Now first of all, basicity and nucleophilicity are two different things, as I told you. But if I say the order of nucleophilicity versus basicity, then almost they go side by side except some limitations. Okay, so let us understand it in detail. Order of nucleophilicity and basicity. Okay, first case, electron density. See, when you say electron density, first factor, the factors I am discussing which will be dependent or in which nucleophilicity and basicity depends. Okay, So electron density, if it is higher, then definitely it will be more nucleophilic and definitely it will be more basic. Clear? So the basicity and nucleophilicity are both directly proportional to nucleophilicity, basicity, means their order will be same with respect to electron density. Okay, let me give you a few example. If I say OH minus and water, as you know, water is a neutral and OH minus is this is acid, it is its conjugate base. So you can see this will be more stronger nucleophile or base. Similarly, SH minus higher than H2S, NH2 minus is higher than NH3. Okay, so with these three basic examples you can understand negatively charged with respect to the same species in neutral form will be more nucleophilic or basic. Clear? So electron density is higher, then nucleophilicity or basicity will be higher. Find order of nucleophilicity in given species. Okay, first. Okay, so dear students, in these cases you have to check the nucleophilicity order or basicity order because both will be same. So let's check the electron density. Higher will be the electron density, more will be nucleophilic. See, neutral, its conjugate base again. So you can say this is the order. Okay, now here again this is the order, -1, -2, same sulfur atom. NH3, NH2 minus, NH minus 2, this is the order. RSH, RS minus, same case. Now RCOOH, this is having lone pair and this H is removed, minus charge, so this is the order. Clear to all? So this is the order of nucleophilicity in the given species. Okay. Periodic trends. Now let us understand what happens on moving left to right or up to down in a group or in a period. What happens about nucleophilicity and basicity. Okay, so in periodic trends, first of all I am talking about left to right. Okay, on moving left to right in a periodic table. Now dear students, here what happens? Electronegativity factor also increases, right? If I say carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine, so as you know, in general the electronegativity here is 4, 3.5, 3 and it is 2.5 if sp3. Okay, in general, so electronegativity increases. So the order in this case will be, suppose example CH3 minus, NH2 minus, OH minus, F minus. Okay, so simply you can understand, as the electronegativity increases, the nucleophilicity as well as basicity will be decreases. Okay, so electronegativity increases, nucleophilicity or basicity decreases. Here the order can be said as, because this is most electronegative, so least nucleophilic. Clear to all? Simply you can understand, this is, out of these, F minus is most stable, so it will be least reactive. Okay, this is most stable because more electronegative will be negatively charged, that is better case. Okay, negative charge on more stable, negative charge on more electronegative element will be more stable than negative charge on lesser electronegative element. Clear? So F minus is more stable than CS3 minus. So CS3 minus is more reactive. It will donate earlier than F minus to what? To any electrophile. Okay. So this is the first case. So this is carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. So on moving left to right, we can simply say left to right nucleophilicity decreases. Why? Because electronegativity increases. I think clear to everyone. If I have to take one more example, I can say about okay, NH3, H2O, HF. Now dear students, simply you can understand here, it is having 1 lone pair, 2 lone pair, 3 lone pair. Now sometimes what happens, what comes in mind of student, sir, it is having 1 lone pair, this is having 2 lone pair, this is having 3 lone pair. So it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Understand this thing. Okay, it's not about it is having 3 lone pair, but it is not capable to give 3 lone pair, or it does not want to give 3 lone pair because this is most electronegative element. Okay. So always remember, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So NH3 will be more nucleophilic here or more basic here. You can see nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Okay, I think clear to you all. Nucleophilicity versus basicity. What is the basic difference which occurs? As we know, it donates to electrophile. It donates to H plus, right? So the basic difference I am telling is, it is about nucleophilicity is about attacking rate to any electrophile other than H plus. Okay, remember, nucleophilicity is about rate. Up to which rate means which will react faster, which will react slower. So it's about rate. So it is actually kinetically controlled. You can say like that, kinetically controlled thing. Okay, nucleophilicity is kinetically controlled entity, while basicity is about accepting H plus. They accept H plus. Okay, so it is a thermodynamic phenomena. So it is thermodynamically controlled. It is a major difference. Okay, it is about rate. It is a thermodynamic phenomena. Basicity simply said as accepting H plus. Okay, clear to all? Now what happens? Why I am telling this? Because in these two cases the difference arises. Any base can easily attack to H plus, because H plus is a very minute small atom. Okay, H plus is proton, which is very, very smallest in size, that any of the base can attack to it, right? Okay, but what happens in case of nucleophile? Nucleophile will attack to any electrophile. So electrophile is bulkier or bigger in size. Nucleophile is also bigger in size. So there will be some steric hindrance factor. Crowding factor may disturb. Okay. So now let us understand what can disturb nucleophilicity. Okay. So I'm just giving you one example. If I have to say CH3, CH2, O minus, CH3, CH, CH3, O minus, CH3, 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 O minus. Now first of all, dear students, understand this is one of the very important compound species which you have to recall every time. It is represented as TBuO minus. It is nothing but sometimes represented as tert Bu or BuO minus. So this is your tertiary butoxide ion. Okay, tertiary butoxide. See, this carbon is having 3-methyl, so it is tertiary butyl. Tertiary means 3-degree butyl, and connected with OH. H is removed, O minus, so tertiary butoxide ion. Clear? So among these three, if I have to check what happens, see, it is CH2 and this is having plus I effect. Plus I of this CH2 will cause here increase in electron density. Here this carbon is having 2-methyl, so plus I of this part will be increased, here further increased. So I can say among this 1, 2 and 3, basicity order will be 3 greater than 2 greater than 1, means the order of Kb can be said as 3 greater than 2 greater than 1. Okay, basicity increases, value of Kb increases and pKb decreases, GOC, right? Now if I have to say about nucleophilicity, here steric hindrance will be there. Why? Because suppose there is one group, carbon is having plus charge with 3 methyl, suppose. Okay, so what will happen? This O minus will attack to that H carbon positive charge, but at the same time these groups will make steric hindrance. Clear? So due to steric crowding, the nucleophilicity order is reversed. So here the order of nucleophilicity will be 1 greater than 2 greater than 3. Okay, I think you have understood this point. Note it down. Find order of Kb and nucleophilicity in given species. Okay, so the question is, see, you know this compound pyridine, okay, and the another compound is same only. Now I think it is very easy to understand. In first case, it is not having steric hindrance, so the nucleophilicity will be first greater than second. Okay, but if I have to say Kb, basicity, then what will happen? Due to this 3 methyls, the electron density will also be increased here, because it has to just attach to H plus only, right? So it is about basicity, then Kb greater than this second greater than 1. Okay, so Kb will be second greater than 1, but nucleophilicity will be 1 greater than 2. Reason is steric crowding. Okay, I'm just giving you a very small example. What happens if you check SF4? Okay, SF4, then attack of water on SF4 is very easier, right? Sulfur is having 6 electrons in its valence shell, forms 4 bonds and 1 lone pair. So here it is very easy for H2O to attack on SF4. But when you say SF6, then it is square bipyramidal octahedral geometry. So H2O unable to attack from any of the side. So it becomes problematic due to what? Steric hindrance factor. I'm just giving you one inorganic example so you can just correlate or imagine in 3 dimensions. Okay, so here it is possible easily, you can say readily. It is not possible readily. Yeah, if you say giving adverse situations or giving high temperature or other phenomena, then it can be made possible. Okay, but in general, if you say in room temperature, it is not possible, little tougher. Okay, clear to you all? Nucleophilicity, it reacts with electrophiles and then forms bond with it, and that will be your covalent bond. Okay, clear? So nucleophilicity, when you say, then it reacts with the electrophile and then it finally forms covalent bond with it. Clear? Now why I'm telling this thing, I'm just trying to tell you about polarization phenomena, because I have discussed you about left to right in a period. But when we come up to down, then we have to understand certain other factors as well. Okay. See, if I say an ionic compound A plus B minus, suppose, okay. So this is ionic in nature. Why ionic? It is having charge separation. It is plus charge, it is minus charge. Okay. And it is having electrostatic force of attraction. Now suppose if some of the charge is partially shared this side, this is your polarization. Polarization between this cation and anion. Okay. Partial sharing of electrons, and due to this phenomena only what happens, the ionic compounds are not 100% ionic in nature. There arises some sort of covalent nature. Okay, if I say NaCl, it is not 100% ionic. It is having almost 85% ionic in nature. Means there is 15% covalent nature. Why? Due to this polarization. Now when I say about polarization, you can recall chemical bonding, Pajan's rule. Okay. So this polarization is all about polarizing power of cation okay, polarizing power of cation. Clear? How? The cation will polarize or attract the negative charge towards itself, and it is about polarizability of anion. Polarizability of anion means the ability of anion to get polarized. Clear? So this is your polarization, and due to this it is not 100% ionic. It is generating some covalent nature. Now what happens if you say that this A plus and this B minus forms here bond, it becomes AB, then now it is becoming covalent. Now it is covalent. When that electron completely comes in between the two, 100% sharing, then it becomes covalent. So ionic towards covalent due to polarization, and if it is completely sharing, then it will be covalent. Now what happens due to this polarization, if I say, then from Pajan's rule, polarization is more, then covalent nature is more, covalent character. Okay. First point, polarization is directly proportional to covalent character. More the polarization, more will be covalent character. Second point is polarization is directly proportional to size of what? See, if the cation is smaller near the nucleus, so more will be polarization. Polarization directly proportional to size of cation decreases, polarization increases. So inversely proportional to, I can say, size of cation means R plus, and that is directly proportional to R minus. Size of anion is more, polarization more. Size of cation is less, polarization more. Clear? So this is the effect. Now I will tell you what happens. See, if we go up to down in a periodic table, then suppose if I say F minus and Cl minus, okay, then what happens? Due to increase in size, we say that the electron holding capacity of that anion is increased, and hence it is less basic in nature. Okay, but when we say about nucleophilicity, then what happens? See, it will be polarized towards electrophile. Okay, so bigger the nucleophile, better will be polarization and better will be covalent in nature. Clear to you? So in that way we have to relate polarization with bigger size of nucleophiles. So we can say generally, bigger the nucleophile, better will be polarization, and hence better will be covalent nature generated, and hence it will be better nucleophile. So bigger the nucleophile, better the nucleophile. Clear? Now here solvent factor is also dominating. Okay, so we need to care about this thing. Which solvent is taken, okay, with attacking reagent as a nucleophile, which is the solvent present in solution, whether it is polar protic or polar aprotic. So let me differentiate you in terms of polar protic and polar aprotic solvents. Nucleophilicity and basicity up to down in a periodic table. Okay, so first understand about basicity. Okay, so now when I say about basicity, up to down basicity decreases as size increases. You can take the example of F minus, Cl minus, Br minus and I minus. Okay, so as you know, I minus is having larger size, so these electrons are actually dispersed in its own vacant orbitals as well, so it is less available for protonation, so F minus is better. So up to down, okay, basicity here decreases. I think clear to you all. Now in the given questions you have to find out the basicity order. Okay, so in these cases you have to just find out Br minus and I minus, let's say basicity order. Then what will happen? Ro minus, Rs minus, O minus, S minus, size bigger, so stable, lesser basic. So this one N and P, nitrogen to phosphorus, up to down. So this is more stable, this is more basic. O minus, S minus, again more stable, so this will be more basic. Size I minus is bigger in size, so this will be more basic. Clear to you? So basicity inversely proportional to size. One more factor you can add here, as the electron density, available electron density for proton will be decreased due to larger size. Available proton density I am telling. Okay, so I think clear to you. Now I am telling nucleophilicity up to down depends on solvents. Okay, generally what we say, neutral solvent or when we say water, so it is all about polar protic solvent. Okay, so generally if nothing has been mentioned, always consider water as a solvent, universal solvent. Okay, clear to you? Neutral solvent, universal solvent, water is considered. Okay, so now understand, solvent will be polar protic, polar aprotic. Polar protic just like H2O and polar aprotic just like ROR, ether. Okay, I have discussed in my last video about polar protic, polar aprotic and non-polar solvents. Everything has been discussed in detail. Here I am just telling what happens. In polar aprotic solvent, nucleophilicity and basicity goes side by side. Nucleophilicity and basicity order is same. Okay, as I discussed about basicity in last questions, similar will be order of nucleophilicity. Okay, because it is polar aprotic solvent. So now why this happens, I'm just giving you one simple example you can understand. Suppose OH minus. Now you are having solvent which is polar aprotic. Now see, OH minus can act as a base as well as it can act as a electrophile. So in a container you are giving this OH minus as a nucleophile. But suppose you are having polar aprotic solvent. So in solvent there is no H plus. So OH minus has no interaction with that H plus. So OH minus will do its work. It will not be deviated. Okay. So it will simply attack electrophilic part. So it's good. Now but what happens? Suppose in solution there is polar protic solvent. Now it can also act as a base. So due to its basicity property, it will behaving as a base and react with solvent as well. So its electrophilicity will be disturbed. Clear to you? So in polar protic solvent, what happens? The order of nucleophilicity and basicity is reversed. Okay. Now OH minus as a base, as a nucleophile, if I say, okay, in polar aprotic solvent, in polar aprotic solvent, good nucleophile. In polar protic solvent, okay, here I am talking about OH minus as a nucleophile. Okay, so in polar aprotic solvent it is a good nucleophile, but if I say OH minus in polar protic solvent, then it will have interaction with solvent as well. So it will be relatively weaker nucleophile. I think you have understood. I think the difference between the two cases. So relative with respect to polar aprotic, in polar protic it will be relatively weaker nucleophile. Clear? I think you have understood the difference between the two solvents with nucleophilicity. Okay. I told you in polar aprotic solvent, nucleophilicity and basicity goes side by side, same order. Now in polar protic solvent, as I told you, if nothing mentioned, always consider polar protic solvent or universal solvent, water. Clear? Remember, many a times this question has been asked about nucleophilicity order and it has not mentioned whether the solvent is polar protic or polar aprotic. So what you need to consider? You need to consider polar protic solvent. Okay. Now what will happen? Nucleophilicity order will be reverse of basicity order. Okay. Reason: better the basicity, better will be solvation. Now in earlier class I have discussed you about solvation as well. Better the basicity. See, the same species which you are taking acts as a base, as a nucleophile. Now better its basicity, better will be its solvation, and hence lesser will be its nucleophilicity. I think, dear students, you have understood this point in detail. Okay. Now if I have to say polarization factor, as I told you, in general what will happen? Bigger the anion, bigger the nucleophile will be better nucleophile. Why I told you? I considered this only, polar protic solvent. Okay. Now, in polar protic solvent, you have to tell about the order of nucleophilicity. Then, F minus, Cl minus, Br minus, I minus. See, basicity of F minus is better. So, as basicity is better, its nucleophilicity will be weaker. I think clear to you. So in these three cases, you can understand due to polar protic solvent, nucleophilicity order is reverse of basicity order. Okay. So dear students, I think you have understood this part in detail. So dear students, here we discussed about nucleophilicity and basicity. Okay, about types of nucleophiles, type 1 negatively charged, neutral, and then pi electron donors. Then we discussed about what are the difference between basicity and nucleophilicity. Then we discussed about various factors in which basicity and nucleophilicity depends. If we say about basicity, it's very general case, but if we say about nucleophilicity, then the case of basicity is very similar to nucleophilicity except two cases. First is steric crowding factor. Due to steric crowding factor, the nucleophilicity order gets different or reverse, and as well as due to polar protic solvent, the order of nucleophilicity differs with respect to basicity. Okay, so dear students, we will continue in our next lecture.